Hello everybody, welcome back to Leeton, or should I say the jungle. We've got a lot of stuff going on in here and I need to get on top of it. We've got tomatoes that are coming into flower, we've got courgettes that are flowering, we've got marigolds that are flowering and going really leggy, we've got cucumbers that desperately need potting on, and it's all getting a little bit out of control, and I need to come up with a strategy and a plan to keep these plants going a couple more weeks while things warm up. And I'm going to talk a little bit about average frost dates as well, because this year we've had some late frosts and I'll go into that a bit more. So I'll get the camera set up, get things organised, and we'll get on with it. So today, the weather here in Shropshire, as forecast, it's just rain all day, and the building site next door, it looks like the Somme. It is just covered in water. The ground in the garden is soaking wet. There's absolutely nothing that you could do outside on the beds today. And I thought it's a good opportunity to get in here and sort out this jungle that we've got going on. The first thing I'm going to talk about are these marigolds, which, how they are still surviving in these tiny little pots is quite impressive really, and they're doing okay. I'm having to water them a lot because the pots are so small, and they have gone a little bit leggy, but when I do plant them out, which will hopefully be in the next week, then I'll be planting them a little bit deeper, these leggy ones, and hopefully they will be okay. And I think a lot of the problems I've got here, as in these things have grown so rapidly, partly perhaps I sowed some of the stuff too early, but also I didn't realise how good this room was going to be as a propagation area. And because it's south facing, in February we were getting, on a sunny day, we were getting temperatures pushing mid-20s in here, nearly up to 30 degrees on one day, and it was like 5 or 6 degrees outside. That's the sort of how good this room is. And I sit here on an evening, and when it's cold I have a little electric oil-filled radiator going, and that has obviously promoted this growth, and we're now running out of space. So I've learned that lesson this year, using this room to start things off and propagating. We've only been here 18 months in this house, so this is all a learning curve in this house for us. So I've got to now address the growth that we've got going on, and as I've said, I think the marigolds, I'm going to leave them as they are. They're not looking yellowy, they're not wilting, so I'm just going to leave them, keep them watered, and get them out in the garden as soon as possible. If the situation changes, then obviously I will pop them on. I'm going to put those to one side for a minute. Now, the courgettes are going berserk, and they're not pot bound yet by the looks of it, so that's a good thing, but they are taking up a huge amount of space. And if you watched the video the other day, I have prepared a bed that I'm going to plant these in, and I've come up with a plan, I think, to get these outside a bit earlier than the weather would normally allow. And talking about average frost dates, the average frost date for this area is the 15th of April. We had a frost only a couple of days ago, and next week we're getting down to 2 degrees on a couple of nights. So when you look up your average frost date, just be mindful that that is an average last frost date. And for it to be an average, there has to be some last frosts before that date on certain years, and there has to be some last frosts after that date on certain years. And this year, obviously, we are going to continue to get some cold weather past the average last frost date. And only last night I was outside covering my early potatoes in pots that have now come through you know, they're now out the ground, with a big sheet of polythene, because although it was forecast to only get down to 5 or 6 degrees, I'm not going to take that chance, and so I've covered them up, and I've been out there this morning to uncover them so that they get all the rainwater, because as we all know, rain is much better than tap water. So back to the courgettes. To keep these going, all I'm going to do is add a small pinch of fish blood and bone, just to keep them with some nutrition for the next few days, while I formulate my plan to get these outside a bit earlier than I should. Now, it could be a complete failure and it may all go very wrong, but I can't keep them in here forever, and I can't keep them in these size pots forever either. These plants are going to start to need to really spread their roots and grow and look for more nutrition. So that's the plan, and that will be coming up in a video. Hopefully Sunday or Monday I'll get that video out. My plan to get these outside earlier than I should, or earlier than the weather is allowing at the moment, and hopefully we'll be okay. And what I will do once I've got these in the ground, I will sow some more as backups, because it is still early in the year. I've still got time. So for now, these I'm going to put on the ground, on the floor over there. We've got plenty of light in here, so they should be okay, and then that frees up this worktop. So the next thing, this is a butternut squash, which I'm going to plant with the courgettes, I think. And I should just mention that these courgettes and this butternut squash I've been hardening these off on the days that are appropriate to harden things off. Today isn't one of them, obviously, but and I'll continue to do that over the next few days. We've also got a rogue tomato plant growing in here. I've got no idea the variety. It must be a seed that fell into the compost tray. So when I plant this out, I will split those and I will put this in a pot of its own probably. But again, just for now, just a little bit fish blood and bone, just to keep that nutrition in the compost and keep these going just for a few more days, a week or so. So that one you can just put over there for now. These are actually side shoots off the tomatoes that I've got growing. A tip that I picked up off Steve's channel, Green Side Up, where you take the side shoots, put them in the ground or in the compost, keep them damp, and within a few days. I mean, these two were done yesterday and they're perking up a little bit already. That one was done this morning. Or was it that one? No, that one was done this morning. That one was done yesterday. And I haven't labelled these up. I like it to be a bit of a surprise. They will get put out somewhere in due course. Now tomatoes are just going mad. This is a red cherry, which is doing okay. And if you could smell this room, it's amazing what with all these tomatoes and things. And I'm going to just leave these. We're not getting pot bound, and hopefully in a few weeks time I'm going to be able to put these out, and they're going to spend more time outside as the days warm up, maybe even some evenings if we're going to get those sort of temperatures above 10 degrees. And as I mentioned in the video the other day, I'm going to put them out, or some of them out, along that fence where they're going to get lots of shelter. These are beefsteak, and again doing very well. And these were sown 9th of February, and that shows you what a good environment this is to get things started and get things growing. And now I know how good this room is. I'll probably be starting things 2 or 3 weeks later next year, and we'll probably have a really bad winter next year and won't get any sun in here or anything. It's a little side shoot. So what else have we got? These are Tumbling Tom, and then over here we've got Maskotka, which is a variety I've never sown before. Again, a few side shoots coming, but I'll let them grow a bit and then I'll pinch them out and do the tip that Steve taught me on his channel. So lots of tomatoes coming on. They're starting to get flowers forming, and these are going to have to get put outside at some point, but it's just too cold on a night at the moment, and without having the polytunnel cover on and all the other stuff, and the greenhouse in the wrong place, is in a north facing position, which is where it was when we moved in. That's a project that we've got to do, maybe this year, maybe next, and that is to move it to a south facing position. But for now they're going to have to stay in this room, and we're going to have to make do. We're going to have to find a way of keeping these plants going, keeping them healthy, and biding our time to get them outside. We've also got lots of chilies growing and peppers. So these are Sweet Amy, and they're coming on nicely. Got no concerns with these, they're not outgrowing the pots or anything just at the moment. These are red sweet peppers, bell peppers, from Home Saved Seed from 2020. Don't know what they're going to turn out like, but we shall see. And then over here we have a mixture of chilies. I don't know the variety of each individual chili because it was a mixed packet, so that's going to be a bit of an exciting test when we get to, if we get any fruit and we get to eat them. But one thing I've got to get done today is potting on these poor cucumbers. If you see this one, it's just looking a little bit pale for my liking, and this one as well, and that is a sure sign to me that these plants are running out of nutrition in these tiny little pots. And these are variety Telepathy, so I'm going to get these potted on. That's a priority today. So I've got 3 of these Telepathy, and in a perfect world I would be potting them on into the pots I've got the tomatoes in, because that would be a sensible next size up. But I've run out of those pots, so I'm going to use these sort of size, and I'm not going to bother with any vermiculite or anything like that. It's just going to be compost This is an Irish moss peat compost, and I'm just going to pop these on. And it'll be interesting to see how well these roots have formed. Take off the 2 seedling leaves that are now dead. Yeah, as you can see, they're ready to be potted on now. So I'm just going to put them in a little bit deeper, not much, just a bit. And I'm also going to add a cane, a small cane, which I can then start to train these up. Get that compost firm down the sides. Perhaps we can just wangle that around there. And later on, I'll get some twine and just loosely attach that to there. So that's one. Now I need to keep these in some form of order. So I'll put the label in there, and these are going to go back on the windowsill. I'll give them a water later. And it's great having these plants growing so well at this time of the year, but there has to be a strategy to keep them going before they can go out. Cane in. There we are. So, last one of the telepathy. The good thing about using a pot this size, as long as I don't overwater them and the compost remains soggy, is they will be good in these pots for a couple of weeks. And a lot of these might actually stay in pots, but get potted on again into bigger pots and put onto the little patio area that we've got, if we've got the decent weather, that is. Last year we grew some great cucumbers outside, weren't covered, they weren't protected at all. But of course, last year we had a red hot summer. Who knows what we're going to get this year. Right, that's all the telepathy done. Next, I've got a variety called La Diva. And we've got 4 of those. So they're exactly the same. Take these bottom leaves off. And there we go. That's cucumbers potted on, and yeah, a little bit done, a little bit saving the plants, keeping them going, keeping them fed, and hopefully that'll get us through another couple of weeks, and I'll get on with that courgette rescue plan as well over the weekend, and get a video out on that. So thanks for watching, guys, much appreciated. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, then please follow us on our journey to become more self-sufficient in fruit, veg, eggs, and maybe some honey. We've got a lot of stuff coming up this year, a lot of gardening, a lot of projects as well in the garden, which as we develop our plot, and from light building work right through to reinforcing polytunnels, putting in pathways, all manner of stuff that we will be doing. So give us a subscribe, give us a like, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.